Ice, ice, baby. Hello everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So we're ranking up our Iceman. He's going up to rank 5, and as you can see, I am busy maxing him out. Then we're gonna take him into Realm of Legends and face off against Winter Soldier. But first, we'll take a look at his stats and abilities so you guys can see what he's about, and then I'll put in a few, I don't have that many, a few signature stones into him, and then look back again to see how his signature ability scaled up. I'm actually torn between who I want to put my mutant sig stones into, whether it's him or Archangel. I'm not really sure. Either one is going to be a good option. Both of them benefit from the greater signature ability, but I guess it just depends on who I'm planning on using the most, and I'm leaning towards Iceman at this point in time because I think I'm going to use him a little bit more than Archangel. Alright, so here we are fighting Winter Soldier, and honestly this is not the best fight to showcase Iceman. What I really want to showcase is his ice armor and his survivability. But I went in here with a mutant crit team, which is a really good team for him, so you guys can see a little bit of his damage. Now I am running suicides, so we've got suicides going plus the mutant crit team, and you can see how his damage scales with that. Also notice how little damage he takes from various attacks with Winter Soldier. See, not that much damage, so he's quite tanky. Also, because he's awakened, you'll notice at the beginning of the fight he started off with Cold Snap. Now he's one of the champions that do not need to be awakened to be very, very good, and I was going to rank him up to 5 even unawakened, but I didn't have to. I grinded for him both times in arena, so he was already awakened. But that cold snap in the beginning is useful when you're fighting champions that have auto evade like Spider-Man or Nightcrawler, and what it'll do is they cannot evade. Mordo as well, he is an awesome Mordo killer, and I may go ahead and put a few duels in the end so you guys can see him up against some of these guys. That should show you a little bit of the advantage that he has being awakened. But you just have to fight a little bit carefully if you don't have him awakened, and stun, fire off his L1 to get the cold snap on him, and then you're fine. But in any case, this fight went pretty much how the other fights went. I tried to intentionally take a little bit more damage just so you could see his tankiness. Other than that, it was a straightforward fight. You can see how his damage is doing. He actually does a pretty fair amount of damage, comparable to Blade. You'll see at the end how many hits it took him, but I was pretty impressed with his damage, and I'll probably be taking him with me into a Alliance War. I had been doing that already, and he was only rank 4, so he should be even more of a beast now. So I'm speeding up the rest of this fight. The rest of the fight went pretty much the same as the first part of the fight, so you can look at the first part of the fight, see his damage, and that's pretty much the way he goes for the rest of the fight. Now the next fight, I take him in there against Captain Marvel. Just the next fight right after this one. I don't heal him up or anything, and I want you to see how long he lasts just taking chip damage from her. So nothing but block damage and parry damage. That's it. And he lasts a pretty good long while, and I want you to see how much damage he was able to do with just this little health that he had going in there against her. Alright, so he did not do that bad. his damage here, at least with suicides and the mutant crit team, is very comparable to Blaze. He's not gonna match, of course, an Archangel or a Gwenpool or anything like that, but he does respectable damage. So here you see me going up against Captain Marvel, and when you parry, you still take a little bit of damage, not much, and he takes even less than others thanks to his tankiness. I get caught with a few blocks there, so you can see how much damage he takes there, but he manages to take away quite a bit of her health before he finally gives in to the block damage. Alright, so we'll speed up the rest of this fight, but one thing I wanted to mention is his cold snap damage. His cold snap damage is very respectable. Look at his fight against Winter Soldier and make a note of how much that cold snap was ticking for a lot of the time. It does quite a bit of his damage, so awakening him and having that right off the bat is very useful, more than just for killing the evade of the auto evade champions. Alright, so as you can see from his health bar, he does not have a whole lot left, but he does manage to take her down to about half of her health before he finally just doesn't have any more. So he was able to take that blocked hit there. He was able to parry one more time, but then finally it was too much. Still, that was an impressive amount of damage he was able to inflict on her with the little health that he had. So now we're going to do a few duels, and first up is Hyperion. Now the thing that people really hate about Hyperion is his power gain. They put him on a power gain node, so he gets to his L3 so quickly. Well, as you're going to see, Iceman doesn't care about that. His ice armor prevents him from taking a lot of damage. So Hyperion got to his L3, but look at Iceman's health there. Not much is lost. And he proceeds to put a whooping on Hyperion, even if Hyperion did a few more L3s. Now the thing that you really have to worry about is that his ice armor right now is not reformed yet. So you don't want to push him to his L3 before you have your ice armor back. Then you'll get wrecked. Alright, so next up, we're fighting Mordo. Now look at that. What happened to his Astral Evade? Can't Astral Evade? Not with the cold snap on him. Love Iceman. And you definitely want to keep applying that cold snap if you plan on doing the little stun and not having to worry about his Astral Evade. And look at this. Hide behind that shield. That don't matter. Boom! Look at how much damage that did. He critted on it too. That's because he, with his heavy, exploded all of his frostbite charges. Now we're fighting Nightcrawler. So I usually start off with a stun, and I want you guys to notice something here. Watch how I'm able to switch him into his swashbuckling mode here. Easy. The reason why is because he had cold snap on him and he wasn't able to evade. So that's the best time you want to try to switch him to his swashbuckling. You try it any other time, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to evade right out of it. But real easy with Iceman. So I went up against him again because I wanted to show you guys the power of the cold snap. So instead of parrying him a lot, which is what I would normally do anyway, this time I just blocked, and you can see he is not able to do that whole bamf 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 thing that he likes to do. And look at those frostbite charges, just tick tick ticking away. Now one thing that you have to be careful of is watch his cold snap. It is off right now, so he can evade, but fortunately he was almost dead and frostbite was on him, and boom, tick tick bam, over with for Nightcrawler. Iceman is awesome. So the final fight is against Spider-Man Classic, and you guys know how he likes to evade, but you won't be seeing him evade now. Because Iceman is awakened, he starts off the fight with Cold Snap, preventing Spider-Man Classic from evading. So that gives me an advantage, and I'm able to get to my L1 and reapply a Cold Snap so that he really can't evade at all. And you can see just how easy it was to take down Spider-Man Classic with Iceman. Now, before I end this, I wanted to talk a little bit about Iceman. Now, if your Iceman is awakened, when you start the fight, he will place Cold Snap on the opponent for 12 seconds, and it will do energy damage over those 12 seconds. That energy damage increases as your signature level increases, and if you go back to the earlier part of the video, you'll see that at level 1 he was doing 1131 over 12 seconds. I put a few signature stones into him, and at level 4 signature he was doing 1523 energy damage over 12 seconds. So it scales up pretty nicely. Now, the Cold Snap that is placed on your opponent when you hit them with an L1 is not the same. That one lasts 9 seconds, and it does a different amount of damage, also based on your signature level, and will go up as your signature level goes up. So just kind of take a note of that. The L1 will also place 2 Frostbite charges on your opponent. Cold Snap and Frostbite, not the same thing. The Frostbite charges will expire and do a certain amount of damage, also based on your signature level. And if you hit them with a heavy, then all of the Frostbite charges they have on them will expire at the same time. In addition to expiring all the Frostbite charges, you'll also do an additional amount of damage based on your signature level. Now, when you launch your L2, your attack actually increases. So if you can time it so that you hit them with an L2 and your Frostbite charges expire while the L2 animation has not yet finished, you'll do even more damage when those Frostbite charges expire during the L2. Just a little tip for you. But that's going to do it, guys. If you liked the video, please consider smashing that like button. If you have not subscribed already, please consider giving me a subscription. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. And you guys have a blessed day.